G'day and welcome to Call of Juarez Rans. It's time to rob a train. Today's episode of Ranslinger.
My own brothers died tragically as
Here
well.
we get a bit more of Silas's backstory. How he's dealt with a trio of brothers. Wild.
It was 1868, and me and my older brothers were pulling a tidy profit running cattle into Juarez, Mexico. One night
And
after
also
my
we
brothers
have
retired for the
Juarez
evening, I
involved.
found a little poker game in a cantina with a couple of cowboys.
I guess you have to have Juarez somewhere.
And I
a
just
Call of Juarez
couldn't
game.
lose. I even won an old Spanish coin that had to be 100 years old. Well, I was mighty pleased with myself the next morning as my brothers and I rode for Texas. But before
Apparently,
we crossed the border, those
don't
cowboys
win
caught
too
up
big.
with us. It was Johnny Ringo, Roscoe Bob Bryant, and another asshole named Jim. They wanted their money back and everything else we had, including our lives, as those boys didn't want us coming for them
I'd say
later.
that's the
Bob put that old
least
Spanish
sensible
coin in my mouth and said, I won't have it said
approach
that
for
I
them to
left you
take.
with nothing, boy.
On the other hand, this is definitely cruel. And
Well,
terrible.
those horses bolted, and there we hung as those bastards rode away. The branch finally snapped under the weight of the three of us, but being my older brothers were bigger and heavier, they were already dead. And right then I swore to myself that I would avenge them.
So, I mean,
Ringo you know about.
this is a very
But
classic
Bob
video game
eluded
thing
me
of let's
until I heard
introduce
he was
characters
riding with the
literally
Wild
that are
Bunch.
already dead. But on the other hand, like, this is a linear game. I don't actually need to care explicitly about Silas's brother for this game to work. I'm not making choices as Silas. And we've also, like, we were already after these guys
I'd been
well
on their
before we
trail
had
for
a
months,
motivation
ever
introduced.
since they left their hideout in the Bighorn Mountains.
I'm fine with it here, but it is something like
Led by
that is
Butch
kind of
Cassidy.
disappointing.
They were a loose
when you see
association of
repeatedly in
outlaws
games.
who robbed banks and trains from
Try to
Colorado
actually
Montana.
give the player at
Among
least
them
some
was the
time
Sundance Kid
with
and that murderous hombre I was
with the
tracking,
characters you're going to kill
Roscoe
off,
Bob Bryant.
so that they
You
have
were
some
part of
time
that
to get
giant
attached.
Pinkerton posse after the Wild Bunch?
No, boy. A circus like that would have slowed me down.
And besides, we would have needed
I
more
wanted
code
Bryant
for
all to
NPCs.
myself. I'd heard about a large shipment of gold being transported to Wilcox, Wyoming on the Overland Flyer. I figured
Got
the Wild Bunch would
train
likely
carriage
hit such a
up
treasure,
there.
and by God, I figured right.
I do like, I like the style of this game. I think it does outdoor vistas pretty well. You can hear all the gunshots.
They blew the bridge with the
See
intention of forcing
Yeah.
the train to stop.
They got the train to stop.
Well, I assumed the Wild Bunch was likely in the still intact part of the train high above, so I had no choice but to make my way up through the passenger cars dangling down. I was determined to make that sumbitch Bob pay for what he did to my brothers.
See, just like, and I mean, as far as motivation goes, you can see why Silas is so angry. Even if the player isn't that angry. It's not like Bob has particularly done anything to them, other than provide
My ears
framing
are still
motivation.
ringing from blowing up that bridge. What'd you say? I can't hear.
Well, I made my way off unscathed and came upon a few members of the gang and had no choice.
That
but
wasn't
to
really no
dispatch them.
choice. That was very
From
much
there, I
a
had
I
to
can do
negotiate
this.
an even more precarious route. But first, I would need to get my ass out of there.
Okay. I'm sure this will go fine.
I jumped from the frying pan into the fire as the train was clearly fixing to fall. I had found the gang, but in order to find old Bob, I needed to fight my way forward past a whole passel of desperados.
Yeah, still got the no multiplier
Outside,
problem.
inside, any way I could.
I mean, it's
made
fine.
my
It's
way
just
towards my prey.
Kind of annoying.
That's
Well, what about the passengers?
It was mostly a freight train, as I recall. There were no passengers aboard that day.
Fair enough. Whoops. Is it that if I trigger something via recollections, it doesn't get the multipliers? I don't know. I don't think so. I'm going to assume it's actually a bug.
As I mentioned before, I am not fond of heights. But I was too busy dodging bullets
Nice
to worry
height.
about falling to my death. Odds were I was likely to die that day anyway. So I was determined to take down as many of those bastards as I could.
I'm putting you
Say, like, the... this whole... the whole train setting feels like I like it, but it's very much like ticking a box in some ways, because you gotta have some kind of train robbery. One of the that one of the most well-known things, at least from my perspective, about Western. Well, let's keep going. Actually, where do I go? I kind of assume I'm meant to go through there. Do I go up? I've forgotten. In general, this is a pretty straightforward level because it's... Alright, you do go up. It's follow the train.
I kept hoping the law would show up and
You
give
mean
me a
like that
hand.
giant Pinkerton posse that I read about? Did they come riding in, guns a-blazing to help?
Good old Dwight, always willing to chip in with info about that. That's a pretty cool posse, and this is where... I suspect that Silas says no right after this. Can't remember.
Help? From the Pinkertons?
Yeah,
No,
of course.
son. I had to fight the wild bunch all by my lonesome.
But I like how it's
usual.
got like the big intro for them, and then it's like, no. Oh, whoops. Let's shoot a bunch of people in the back.
Take cover! Retreat! Retreat!
And... oh, right, because you could go down there. That's right. I remember. I remember things.
He's killing
I
everybody!
could probably shoot this chain? No.
They'll kill us
Oh.
all!
That's the plan. Fight. Plan is to shoot all of you and then let some kind of higher power sort it out. Like the governor. Yes. Hello, what was that?
My guess is
Oh,
those
right,
damn
yes.
novels didn't portray this as it happened, did they?
Somebody's coming!
Only a few stragglers were left. I had to cut them down pronto if I was going to stay on old Bob's trail.
Everyone likes Gatling gun sections. The Wild West turret sections. They're pretty much just hold the button down and point it in the right direction. Well, here I do actually run into a little bit of problems because not as large as I'd like on my screen, and hard to spot them. Like, they actually are blending in a bit for me. Wait. Because this is one way to make them stop blending in so much. There we go. Now that's over.
Once I silenced all those guns, I went searching for my nemesis, determined to
No
finally
coincidence
have my justice.
that as soon
but the
as
only
the-
survivor who welcomed me
All right,
was
yes.
George Flat-Nosed Curry,
Now
Who
it's a
is he?
straight duel section? Yeah.
the fastest gun in the gang. Right after Sundance, I mean. And Kid Curry, and maybe Elsie Lay.
Okay, so
Though
it's pretty
some folks
close.
might dispute that.
Got
On
it.
that very same day, Butch Cassidy and the Sundance Kid decided to leave the Wild Bunch behind and decamped for South America.
Awfully convenient. And I think, yeah, like that's like the fact that they did that is a thing.
They ended up living down there for many years, but I'm sure you already know all about that.
Okay, now we can move on to the next part of this. That didn't take me very long. Yeah. So I need to check here whether continue will actually just continue for me or not. I would rather use continue, but it's stuck on the swamp level. Sigh. And I don't want to do the swamp level, so I'm just going to have to do the rest of this game via the recollections menu. Which is fine, I guess.
We'll get those suckers.
Which menu? Yes. Interesting. I don't know why it didn't continue on when I thought it would. Alright, so we'll take the 130 to hell. Yeah, only one I've got left is the second last level. With only one I've got nuggets left in the second last. And this is yet more trains, if I recall. No. No, it isn't. There's a later level with where you're on an actual moving train, which is also feels like a thing you really should do with an Old West kind of game. Okay, the 130 to hell.
I tried to find Bob Bryant, but it was as if he'd disappeared. Sometime later, I heard the Wild Bunch was back together. Kid Curry escaped from jail, and now he was running the whole shebang. So I took to their trail, as I was still in pursuit of my brother's killer and hoped that he was back with him.
Interesting that he blames Bob for
That kid
his brother's
Curry's
death,
nothing
not
crazy, ain't
the
he?
entire gang. I mean,
Oh,
Bob
let
was
him
the
hear you
most
saying
cruel.
that.
Anyways, I tracked those boys to a camp right outside Parachute, Colorado.
Okay.
Being outnumbered, I didn't bother with a warning shot. I just started taking those bastards down.
Yes. Hey, just stop missing by small
Old Bob
margins.
wasn't among them, and neither was Kid Curry.
Of course,
I could sense him close by,
the
however,
antagonists aren't there.
plotting
Not
something
that they're
nasty.
like
I just
deliberate
needed a clue
antagonists,
as to
which
their
is an interesting
whereabouts.
choice in this game. They're very clearly like yes, they're opposed to him, but Silas is definitely seeking out his opponents. He's not going up against someone that's deliberately plotting his demise or anything. Oh right, I need to actually look around here.
And I found one. A map with their bold plan clearly marked. This time they were fixing to blow up a train trestle. Property of the Union Pacific.
Those monsters.
The plan clearly indicated how they were fixing to undermine several of the weakest wooden supports.
I like that this game is willing to not to just actually skip to the next area. It's not like, oh, now you need to run from this place to the next place. We will just cut time and
Kid
show
Curry
up
was
there.
considered the wildest of the Wild Bunch. It was said that he fathered 85 bastard children, though some
That's a
say
lot
it was
of
only
kids.
5.
That's too many kids.
Kid Curry had bragged to a whore how he was
Okay.
gonna rob a train heading to the U.S. Mint in Denver. And that whore, Fat Sally, she told me. Of course, I had to tread carefully. Otherwise, I could, well, die.
Yeah. Yeah, I should tread carefully then. Ah. Jump. Drop. Let's try not to fall off this time. Yes,
The bridge
got it.
was rigged with
Got it.
dynamite.
Okay, what do we...
So I decided I'd best be careful confronting those bastards.
Disarm bomb. So maybe...
A moment later,
oh, right,
I
yes.
saw a ladder that somehow had escaped my attention.
Okay, there we go.
Don't you blow us up now.
You're
Don't worry, I know what I'm
totally
doing.
subtle. Where are you guys? There.
Damn it! What the hell?
But the wild bunch did not take kindly to my presence and attempted to blow my head off.
Got him, but I didn't get the other one. There you are. Thank you.
It appeared the kid had found a number of new recruits to bolster their ranks.
Awfully
Guess there's
convenient.
always desperate
Like,
men
they
willing to
want
trade their
more
lives for
guys
stolen treasure.
to shoot. How big were these gangs in real life, I wonder?
Well, having removed the first bundle of dynamite, I decided I might as well remove the other one.
And then it'll allow me to
Once that was
progress.
done, I figured I'd find my way from there.
I saw one more of you, unless I got you, which I don't think I did. You die. You die. You die. You die. I said die, not... How did that just... There we go. Yep, that's all of it. Excellent. So now I need to... What? Need to make sure you actually hit them in
Had to
the head.
remove
and
more of
not
that damn dynamite.
miss. I like how repetitive the story is. It's like, yeah, and then I found a third lot of dynamite and removed it. And then I found another
I was
one.
sweating it a bit, but then
honestly,
I noticed a footbridge tied up on high, so I shot the rope.
have to shoot the rope. Honestly, it's very much like that is kind of how some of this story has to have been. Or he's definitely needing to gloss over details. Because, seriously, like... And then another 5 guys showed up, and I shot all of them. Whoop.
God damn you! Give it up now!
And then another one. And I shot some barrels near them that were very conveniently placed.
So that was
That
all
would
the
explode.
dynamite?
Funny you should mention that, darling. As actually there was a 4th charge impeding my progress.
Okay. It was
Once I
impeding my
removed
progress.
it, my path was pretty clear.
Right. Just get shot. Wait. I really resent the fact that you guys are knocking my aim just enough that I don't get to kill you. It doesn't take much. And a near miss is also known as a miss. So, there we go. And then, oi, 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 oi. Alright, let's do this again. This time with less sucking.
Somebody really pissed this so big off!
Got it. Okay. I think that should be most of it in that section. Alright, now we found those guys. Let's see what we can get. Right, yes. So this
So I
has
proceeded
to...
onward and
So
realized
this is one of the
that way
instances
just
where it
wasn't gonna-
uses
I
that
needed
trick
an
to
alternate path
remove
forward.
a path from you. It's interesting that they don't do that nearly as often as they use it to just open up the next section. But, yeah, it's one of those instances. Oh, that's right. Now I remember how this works. This area is just like an explory bit, so you've got a few alternate paths in the combat arena. But then, must have. Let's get off this trestle. Off and get going.
Luckily, I found a cave, and as I made my way back to the bridge, I
Everyone
saw
likes
something
caves.
that concerned me. It was a long burning fuse, and it was moving fast as hell.
And this is
I had
another
to catch
classic thing. Like, I'm not sure if it's a classic thing in that you see it in serious westerns or anything, but definitely seen enough
The
western
burning
inspired
fuse
things.
was so damn quick,
to have
I had
that.
to run like the wind. I almost had it, but no. Thought I was gonna have a coronary when I lost sight of those sparks. My heart was pounding like a
I like the
sledgehammer.
music.
I
This
knew that
like
failure
this is
meant
actually paced
boom.
fairly well,
Then,
even if it's
finally,
the
at
kind of
last
silly
moment.
thing of
Whew. Of course, I was
blowing
successful,
that
or
out.
clearly I wouldn't be talking to you folks here today.
and of course pointing out that hey,
Naturally, I
actually
removed
this
the last
framing
dynamite
device
charge.
means that you really
Well,
need
it was a touching reunion.
okay.
But by
Yeah,
this
like
time, I
obviously
was
Silas
thoroughly
can't
exhausted
actually have
and
died.
dragging my ass as I was not a young man anymore.
Let's just play up some of the animations and sounds this last section because Silas is getting old, but not actually have any mechanical effect on that.
Finally, I found those boys, or more precisely, they found me.
Who the hell is that guy? It's Tracer and Kid Curry asked me. Nuttier than a damn fruitcake.
And without the multiplier, I actually don't get the free refills, which makes this harder.
Kill that dickweed.
Like, I've got all my other perks, so in fact, having no perks would still give me a multiplier. So I don't know what it is that's causing that to happen, unless it is just a restriction based around recollections, which
Just when
I
I
did
thought
not know.
things couldn't get worse, Kid
But-
Curry opened up on me with a goddamn Gatling gun. It was hidden in this
Oi.
tunnel and pretty well shielded.
Busy. Gatling guns. Enemies with Gatling guns and shielding. They are problematic, let me tell you. Let's duck down here. You can shoot. Oh, hi there. You can go away. And you.
Show yourself, you coward!
Hello.
Do you know who I am?
The guy with the Gatling gun. I do not like you. Oh, right, yes, Kid Curry. I do know who you are. There's like a health bar at the top of the screen and everything.
You can't beat me! It's not fair! God damn it, I need some help here! Leave him to me! Come on, boys! Take this sumbitch out! For you to lay down and die, bastard!
Eventually, I brought that
There we go.
tunnel down. That's
Oh,
where
what?
I met Kid Curry himself.
I did not know that was even possible. The game did not handle that quite as well as it was meant to, I think.
Stand still so I can kill you! Shit! God damn it, I need some help here! Come on, boys! Take this sumbitch out! Eat fat bastard! Can't really a hand!
Eventually, I brought that tunnel down. And that's when I met
Oh.
Kid Curry
My
himself.
concentration is
He had
filled up.
decided to stop pussyfooting
But
around
I don't
and
think it
deal
matters
with me
because
personally.
I'm pretty sure it's gonna take me into a duel. Let's focus. Focus, focus, focus. So yeah, as I've said before, like my approach here is to kind of actually put my focus on building up speed and rely on peripheral vision for building focus, although there, because I was actually trying to talk through my plan, I got shot. But on a keyboard and mouse, it's very much like you're tapping A and D to try and put your cursor in the zone. I think it just basically builds in a certain amount of drift.
As fast as he was.
Yep,
I was just a bit
That was
faster.
really nice. Like, I had really high focus, so I was really
And as he
accurate.
lay
and I had
wounded, I
speed,
demanded to know the
and gut
whereabouts
shot
of
means
Roscoe
this
Bob
actually then
Bryant.
makes more sense.
He shouted at me. Is that what this is about? Bob went with Butch's Sundance to South America. You ain't never finding him.
Well, that's... And I didn't actually press the fire button there. It's just, if you dodge,
Those
you
were
also
his
shoot
last
it.
words.
And that is the end of this episode of Call of Juarez Ranslinger. Next time round, move on. We'll see just what Silas has done now that he knows that Bob is out of his reach for now. And yeah, I hope you have a great day. Until then, bye.